Hi, I've painted a gnome, I've painted the background, the moon and his little blue hat, and I've painted his gloves and his feet. So I'm just going to show you how I do the stencils. I bought this stencil at the Dollar Tree. I always look for stencils there that I can use, like stars and things that I know I will use a lot maybe. So sometimes there's words that like blessing or things like love, pause, things like that that you will use a lot. So I always buy those stencils. And sometimes I like to put a little stencil with a surprise. I use a makeup sponge to put the paint on my stencils, and the big thing with stenciling like this is less is best. So what you do is you get a little bit of paint and then you tap it on the plate a few times to get some of the paint off, and then just a very light tap, not too much pressure onto the fabric, and that's the stars. And I'm just going to use these few stars here because there's all kinds of different stars on this stencil. Just keep on tap tap tap, and this is a little heavy, so I just go lighter. If you practice, you'll know how much paint, and once you start tapping it onto the fabric, you'll see, oh, this is too much, it's going to bleed, or I need more paint here, or things like that. This paint washes off the stencil very easily also, and it's also not very wet on the fabric, so even though I'm moving the stencil over the other stars, it's not like smudging them up. And I can just keep on pat, 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 and just go down there, get a few more, just turning them. And then also sometimes you want one that's like half on the edge and not totally going over. So you have to make sure that you just pat it where you see the blue and not where the white of the moon is. Although on this one that won't make too big a difference because the moon is white behind. And now for, he's holding a big star. You can see I've used masking tape. I don't know, I think you call it masking tape. I also buy it from the dollar store. And then I just taped over his hands and the star, because now if I paint the beard, I'm going to use like little down strokes like this. And I do not want to worry about going into the star and then having to cover the white, because the white is very opaque, where the other colors are very transparent, and it's hard to color white with the other colors. So I'm just going to keep on going. I'm just putting some white and brown on my paintbrush each time I go get paint. I just try and get both. I try not to mix them too much, so I still have like strokes and a variance in there. So now I'm going to paint the nose. If you mix some of the white with brown, this is too much the same like the beard. I think I need to change the color. Let's get some, I'm just going to put some gray in the beard, and just like a few strokes. So I'm just taking some black on my brush. I didn't clean my brush, so the brush still has a lot of the brown and white on. And I'm just lightly putting a few gray strokes in. I don't want it too gray because then it's gonna not work with the background that's dark as night. Okay, so now I'm just painting the little nose, which is white with some brown. And this is how you usually make fresh color. It's like by mixing white with some brown. And now I'm pulling up all the masking tape so you'll see where it was. There's the glove that I painted before. So it was all taped up. And I just cut the tape with scissors into little pieces and just try and cover as best as I can. There we go, it's all off. So now I'm just gonna paint the red and white stripes on the star. And so I'm just eyeballing it. I don't know how big I want the stripes to be. Oh, this might be too big. Now let's go down, yeah. Sorry, I see my camera keeps on blurring. One more line there. I do not paint this fast. I speed up my videos a lot. I paint a lot slower than this. But at least you can get an idea of what I'm painting. Just trying to see how wide is the lines. Kind of, this one looks very crooked, so maybe I should just make it. It's gonna go a little wider over there. And then I can just keep on going with it. Just go down the line. And some more red. And then I'm gonna paint the white of the star. I always paint the white, I don't just leave it. Although the fabric is white, I still like to paint the white. I don't like pieces that are not painted, so this is gonna be like an 18 by 18 inch pillow cover. It's an easy way to just bring some seasonal stuff into your house, and it takes very little space. So a pillow cover is very small to hold, and then it brings a little bit of season into it if you just change one pillow. So just keep on painting the white. The next thing I'm going to do is the fireworks. I want to do some fireworks up on the right hand side of it. And I'm just going to use a stencil for that also. I did cut the stencil myself for the fireworks. I don't know where I got this SVG file with all these different fireworks on. I just buy sometimes, like, this is like normal file dividers that I bought from the Dollar Tree, and I cut it on my silhouette on this, and it works perfect. I like to use stencils that I can reuse. I don't like to use vinyl and all the, what do you call it, when you have to weeding. It would be a nightmare to like have to weed this all the time. I mean, and I can use this stencil over and over. The paint easily washes off the stencil. So what I did here is I first painted it very lightly with the white, and then I put some red over. So the big thing with that is the white needs to be very light, and then when you put the red on, not to push too hard, because then if you push it into the white too much, it will make pink. So this one I'm just going to do white, like very lightly, and then I'm going to put some blue on top, because I want the fireworks to be red, white, and blue. Bring some color into this pillow. A little bit more of the... This will totally work as a acrylic painting. If you want to make a gnome for the wall. And I think this is just going to be a white, some white fireworks. And maybe I should just use some, I'm just using some silver glitter with the white. It's kind of hard to see the glitter with my camera. I don't know one would show the glitter. I don't know what the camera settings is to show glitter, but there is a lot of glitter on those stars. Now I'm just going to outline it. I want this little star at the end to stand out, and then this is just going to be a black outline. I use a, oops, sorry for that blur. I use a flat brush to, it's when I move too quick, my camera can't keep up with the focusing. I just use a flat brush to line most of the stuff. If it's easy long lines like this and there's not too many curves, I try not to use too small a brush all the time, because that just makes it take so much longer. And need some lining up here by the star. And if you use short little strokes also, you can't see if it's crooked. And I think outlining something kind of brings the picture out and gives it more definition. So now I'm just going to go in between the stars, all the lines, and a little bit of highlights here and the beard, so it's not so one color. Get a little bit more definition on the beard. I hope you enjoyed painting this gnome with me, and we can have some more 4th of July fun.